Beltane is a liminal invocation, the union of the green man, the oak king, representing the masculine, spirit of the woods, and the May queen, the queen of the meadow nymphs, young, maiden, feminine, innocence, personification of fecundity and purity. What I've noticed on here is some lichen. Now I ordered some oak moss, I think it is oak moss oil, and it's made of this lichen that grows on oak. I don't really know my lichen, so I could have got the lichen wrong, but I'm assuming that because it's growing on the oak, it's oak moss, which has an absolutely wonderfully deep smell. So I'm going to snip a piece of the bottom, but we're also looking for the catkins, and they have all turned because, actually, you know what, I'm going to just snip these two bits off. Sorry oak. Do you know what, it might not die, it's kind of hanging on, it may last. I'm going to try, I'm just going to scrape some of this off if I can. I need a penknife, that's what I need. Sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way to the camera, so I'm going to have to carry that home in my hand now, because I didn't think of bringing little vials for little things. And that's about it. It's quite exciting today because we're going to make two distinct incenses, one representing the green man, the oak king, and we're going to make a second incense to represent the May queen. Each incense has some seeds, some magic ingredients, and then at sundown we will be sitting in the wood and blending the two together. First, the green man, the oak king, a complex character representing the cycle of life, masculine power of fire, and Beltane is a fire festival. First, we make the masculine incense. So we start with the opoponax, the myrrh, hot and dry in the first degree, I will assume ruled by Mars. Both the feminine and the masculine have some seeds. These are very, very potent. They will help us to invoke and bring forth all the elements of the forest. Some pre-prepared dried herbs, some pre-prepared oak moss, a second bowl of seeds. Just like in bulk, we're also going to use some charcoal. We're using some charcoal here because we want that saltpeter igniting the energy. Wood charcoal and saltpeter will ignite our energy. Cocoa, and this is another gum arabic, the green man, everything of the fire of Beltane. We're going to keep grinding this until we've formed a warm base. The myrrh, the opoponax, has a deep resin smell. Warmer, it brings a warmth. The next thing we're going to add is the buds of the beet, which represent the burgeoning, erupting force, energy, the virility of the green man, the oak king, that person we're calling forth that spirit, the nature spirits. Now to add to our green, we have the catkins of the oak tree. In fact, they've turned already. They're already scorched from the sun. We're unseasonably warm this year for the 1st of May 2025. It's good that we have catkins in here because Beltane incense is about the marrying of the feminine with the masculine. So we have a capful here of alcohol. And this is for the king, remember. This is a very British incense, so we've got more mosses here. The oak moss is actually a lichen that grows on oak, and we'll be putting some oak moss oil, which is a very deep, and this is a very deep complex incense. We'll also be adding some wood from the pine, but I need to get my knife out to cut that. We'll be adding some holly, and of course some ivy. We'll also be adding the evergreen rosemary moss and lichens from this oak branch here, and we may even put some of the wood in our incense. So this is a deeply complex incense. Here's another part of the oak, because we are invoking the oak king, the king of the forest, the green man, the symbol of death and rebirth and the cycle of life. And then when we have this deeply complex ancient incense, we will marry it with the incense that represents the May Queen. I need a spoon and some more myrrh and some more rum. That's for the incense, not for me, not at this time of day anyway. So we're halfway through the Green Man incense, and I really wish I could let you smell this. It's absolutely delicious. It's really, really deep amber earth smell. We have some more copal and some more myrrh here because we're just going to make another quantity. Might be slightly different. And we have some oils waiting, some sandalwood, some cedarwood and some oak moss oil. So the Green King, the Oak King, is not all about that heavy and fiery energy. He also has a lighter side, and this is the blossom of the horse chestnut tree, also found in his forest. The buds of oak, the ivy here is dying to get in on the act, look, so we'll also take a tiny bit of ivy leaf, our holly, and just the very beginnings of flower and berry, because Beltane is the 1st of May. So this is the incense of the Green Man, the Oak King. We're going to take some pine, if we can. Oh, I was just about to say, will any of it fall in our pestle and mortar? We don't need that much. Here we go. because we are invoking and calling upon all the spirits of the forest in the cycle of life. So we will pop in some evergreen rosemary, but only a tiny amount. Here we go. A very mature, complex aroma, a very mature, complex essence. And this just adding a lighter, greener note to the forest, the complexity of the green man, the oak king, the earth, the cycles of the earth. We're just going to add some more moss, different coloured mosses in here. And adding the moss gives us a deep green scent, the scent of the forest. And then to perk it up slightly, we'll be adding a tiny bit of mint, because it's spring, it is Beltane, it's the new season, and of course it is a union, a marriage of the Green King and the May Queen, and he wants to smell lovely and fresh at his union. So this really is one of the most complex incenses that I've made, because he's a complex character, the Green King. Without disrupting everything, I'm going to bring this branch of oak a bit closer here. And I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to take these lichens and some of the oak wood. Now we're going to mix these two together, then I'm going to pop in some oil, and I may pop in some more alcohol. We shall see. Oh, let's have a smell of this. Oh, that is rich. And that's the greener note to go with it. Oh, this is so lovely. It's going to be such a magnificent blend. And here comes the green oak moss oil. And this is something else altogether. Look at that thick green oak moss oil. I'm going to need a spoon. See how thick that green oil is. And I may add some broad spectrum hemp oil as well to add to the green here. Now the Green Man is a hugely complex character because he's been around since the beginning of time. Full of yang energy, and this is all about the waxing sun, the fire of Beltane, the god, Celtic god Bel. So we're going to leave this in the midday sun to warm up and infuse all of those things together, and then we will come back later and find a spot to blend the May Queen. So we made the Green King, the oak king, the green man rather, the oak king, and now the counterbalance is the May Queen. Now we will be adding some metaphor of pomegranate, Persephone, pomegranate dried skin there to add texture. We'll be adding all sorts of things, not as complex or mature as the Green King, because we are Maiden, in the Maiden stage, the May Queen. The first thing we're going to do, these hawthorn May flowers were drying some overnight, and we're just going to be mixing that with the sweetest frankincense we can find to counterbalance that myrrh that we used yesterday. Beltane is a Celtic festival and traditionally starts at sundown until sunrise. I will see you then. At the moment we are really just equal amounts of frankincense, and this is very sweet, almost newborn scent, but also slightly lemony, but also more newborn smell. The innocence of spring as we jump over the fire and into summer. And we have to remember, although these gums are not indigenous, Beltane is a Celtic festival. For thousands and thousands of years, the Celts have been trading across the world. Now this is where it becomes really magical. So I don't know if you can see down here, these are wild foxglove seeds. So the elemental spirits of the foxglove, in each one of those tiny, tiny seeds is the potential for a huge flower. We're just going to add a few of those seeds, and that's really just for the elemental magic of it, for the elemental magic of it. Obviously I'm going to plant the rest. We're also going to add some coriander seed. Now coriander, again not indigenous to the British Isles but traded for thousands of years. Light, fragrant and traditionally used to raise your vibration. We're also going to add some green. Now this is green lavender, new lavender from this year, so not the flower but the green. It smells like lavender, but it smells very green. And another green we're going to add, I don't know if you can see this hiding way over here. Stinging nettle. We're only going to put a tiny bit in because maiden she may be, innocent virgin she may be, but do not wrong her because she has a sting in her tail. So just as the Green King added his mint, ready for his union, a nice fresh colour, the maiden adds her sting. So we'll take that out of the way. We don't need more than one sting in the tail. And again, we're grinding the oils from the lavender green into, and it's not the flower, summer solstice we may use the flower. We are going to use a couple of flowers, you can probably see down here. Cowslip from the garden at the Green Lotus Lounge, and dandelion. Now we'll be putting some, you know, some colour in her cheeks. Yellow, the colour of the solar plexus, if you're sort of mixing cultures there. So the sun is coming. The sun is coming. We add yellow for our cowslips and yellow for our dandelion. Now dandelion's really important because it's resilient and it was used at the turn of the 19th and 20th century by the suffragettes. Now we associate green and purple with the suffragettes, and it's really important to understand that women didn't even have the vote at that time, and couldn't possess chattels, if you like, houses, you know, unless a man bequeathed them to her. So a hugely important historical movement. And one of the fundraising things that they used to do was artists would paint the most beautiful vases of dandelion as a sign of resilience and sell the painting in fundraising, oil paintings, and absolutely beautiful. So we will be putting some sun colour and some resilience. We'll be giving our maiden both of those. And it's already quite sticky from the pollen, from the mayflower, and from the resin of the frankincense. So we'll add some dandelion petals. Say thank you, dandelion, for giving up your beauty and your seed for us, this colour of the sun, because at Beltane the warmth is coming, the sun is coming. And to add to our yellow, beautiful cowslip flowers. And our base of frankincense. So the power of the digitalis, the power of the foxglove, that's a magic power, and that helps to unite us in elemental spirit. The meadow and the green king, the oak king, the king of the forest, maiden of the meadow, and the king of the forest dweller. The oak king, mature, eternal. The maiden every year. And what power they will bring together. We'll keep adding flowers to our mix. The sting on a nettle is in the hair. It's in the hair, end of the hair. Well, actually, it's all over the hair. And even to the nettle, we say thank you. Thank you for protecting our May Queen. Now, I'm going to add some oils and resins, but before I do that, I'm going to grate some pomegranate, dried pomegranate. And we take her seeds. And yes, I am using children's scissors so I don't stab myself. So we take some pomegranate seeds, and this is to invoke, again, mixing our cultures, Persephone, the metaphor of Persephone going down into the underworld when she unites with the oak king, the green man, the forest, the meadow and the forest. And now we'll leave that for a while. We'll add some honey. This is the frankincense and the May blossom. We'll be adding this together in a moment. Not quite as complex a blend as the Green King or the Green Man. There's our green and our now the only other thing that we will add is a little bit of lavender oil for the cleanliness of it all and for the aromatic flower smell our sweet maiden is going to bring. To the union of the forest. There's our meadow maiden and our green king, oak king, king of the forest. Get ready for the union. so this is a very green smell.